Once again for you guys. Oh, froze up a little bit there. Coming to you guys live. We are doing a sit-up challenge. Several of you were like, oh my gosh, I'm loving these challenges. Can you do another challenge? So we decided to go ahead and do the sit-up challenge. So what that means is that we're doing 100 sit-ups for 7 days. 100 sit-ups a day for 7 days is what we're doing, okay? I wanted to give you guys some options on sit-ups. I've heard from several people saying, Lori, I cannot do a sit-up. Can I do crunches instead? Here's my thought process on that. If you don't ever do a sit up, you will never do a sit up. Let me just kind of reiterate that again. If you don't ever do a sit up, you will never do a sit up. And I know that kind of sounds redundant, but I want to explain what I mean. If you are only doing crunches or you're only kind of lifting the head, you will never get the ability to actually lift your entire body into that sit up. It is just not what a crunch will do for you. If you do crunches, you'll get better at crunches, but you will not get better at sit ups. So I wanted to give you guys some options. Some people say there's absolutely no way that I can do a sit up, Lori. And I wanted to give you options for that. I wanted to give you all of the different levels of a sit up that you can do during this challenge. And I wanted to let everybody know that every single person can do a sit up, okay? Obviously, talk with your doctor first. If you have some like tummy things or you've been pregnant and had C-sections and things of that nature, that is a little bit different, and that is something that you want to talk to your doctor about. But the majority of people can do a sit-up. So I want to kind of show you the different options that there are for sit-ups, okay? So obviously there's different levels for the sit-up. Now I'm going to start with the most basic level and then move all the way up to the most advanced level, okay? So once again, I want to show you this. This is still a sit-up even though you're using assistance, okay? So like I said, a lot of people say, I can't get up into that full sit-up position. I've heard this so many times, and then I help people do it, and they're just absolutely amazed, okay? So literally, this is a sit-up, guys. When we go down to the ground, you can literally use your hands and your elbows to create that sit-up position. Once again, if you do not do a sit-up, you will never be able to do a sit-up. So why not get a little assistance in that sit-up? So you're here, coming down, you can use both elbows, both hands to sit up and get into that position, keeping that core tight. Then you go to maybe just one arm coming down and using one arm to come up, and then you slowly progress. Now there's another progression after that. You can actually use a weight. So once you've used, the elbows, the hands, the things to actually get up into that sit-up position, then you can say, okay, now I want to take away my arms, but I'm not quite there yet. So what you can do is you can actually add a weight to the equation. This is a 10-pound weight, that's plenty. And having the weight in front of you actually helps propel you forward. Now, if you have it here at your chest, it's going to make the sit-up more difficult. But if you have it out here, it's actually going to help you propel up into that sit-up. So a lot of people do sit-ups with the weight out front. This is another next option that gets you into that sit-up without having to use your arms to help you up. So once again, you can use two hands to get up, then one hand, and then you say, hey, I don't want to use hands anymore. Then we start progressing to the dumbbell, okay? And then once you're feeling pretty good about that dumbbell and you're able to get up into that sit-up, then you can add on, okay? So what you can do is you can add on, and you could bring up arms overhead and use the momentum to come up into that sit-up. So again, this is that next level, using that momentum coming up into that sit-up, okay? And then you can just make it progressively harder and harder from there. You can have the hands at the chest, giving yourself no momentum or anything to get up into that sit-up. Hands at the chest is going to be a little bit tougher. You can bring the heels into the butt to make it even more tougher. The closer that the heels are to the butt, the harder that the move can be. Then, once again, like I said, now you can add the weight to the equation and put it at the chest and hold it at the chest and go into that sit-up to make it even harder. If the weight's out here, it's not going to be a harder sit-up. It needs to be in at the chest. So there's so many different levels. I want to hear some success stories. I want to hear if this kind of mesmerized you, as far as like, I've so many clients, I'm like, use your elbows, use your hands. Make sure that you're doing sit-ups, or else you never will be able to. All the crunches in the world are not going to get you to do a sit-up. So I want to hear your story. I want to hear if you try it with the elbows, the hands. I want to hear if you try it with the weight. I want to hear whatever level you're at, but everybody can do this challenge. You can still get in if you'd like. We are starting today, 100 sit-ups a day for 7 days. Guys, I'm going to go ahead and do mine. Have a great rest of your day.